Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Russ. The drama and details surrounding a double shooting in Shepherd yesterday now reveal multiple suspects, witnesses, and a drug deal gone bad.
Now, the first shooting suspect identified and charged in court today. A second suspect taken into custody, and authorities now on the hunt for a third man who also allegedly barged into the Shepherd home with guns drawn.
And prosecutors detail the early Monday morning shooting and court documents filed against the first suspect.
40-year-old Gregory Johnson is charged with 2 counts of assault with a weapon in the shooting that left a man and a teenage boy with bullet wounds in their home on Bees Lane. Now, sheriff's deputies arrested the second suspect around 11:30 this morning at a Billings home on Custer Avenue and 2nd Street West. This footage shows deputies taking the man into custody. Now, that man did have an injury that was possibly a bullet wound. Sheriff Mike Linder says there were no shots fired during today's arrest, and the injury does not appear to be life-threatening.
Now, this was the shooting scene early Monday morning in Shepherd. Court documents state an adult man was shot 3 times in the right arm, right side of his chest, and in the back. The second victim, a teenage boy, was shot in the arm. The man's wife and their 2-year-old child were also in that home during the shooting, along with the teenager's girlfriend.
Now, the adult male victim identified Johnson as the shooter. Court documents state the man's wife told authorities intruders entered the family's unlocked back door and exchanged gunfire with her husband. A neighbor's surveillance video shows a flash coming from the home, then 3 people running out. Other videos show flashes coming from the house, striking that fleeing vehicle.
After his arrest, Johnson told deputies the first shots came from inside the home and his 2 companions fired back. He said he fired his gun into the air.
Authorities are still searching for that third suspect tonight.
Well, at least one person was transported to the hospital tonight after an accident on the way to the Heights takes out a utility pole. Shortly before 9 o'clock, reports came in of a crash near Swords Park on East Airport Road, where a minivan and passenger vehicle collided. It's not currently known what happened to cause that crash, but the impact was enough to take down a utility pole. It reduced traffic to a single lane near the park. There's no word on the extent of injuries at this time.
Well, late this morning, Billings police made an arrest at gunpoint right in front of Senior High School. This after callers reported someone waving a rifle out of a car window. Officers rushed a small Ford sedan after it stopped in the westbound lane of Grand Avenue. A woman, 2 girls, and a boy exited the car as officers had their guns drawn. Now, police pulled a BB gun rifle and a small handgun from the vehicle. The male was arrested. The incident snarled traffic and shut down Grand Avenue.
Another man arrested accused of threatening motorists with a handgun while riding his motorcycle in Laurel and Park City.
23-year-old Ryan Good is being held on assault charges tonight. A press release from the Laurel Police Department states the first incident happened on Sunday when a man riding a Honda motorcycle pulled a handgun on a female driver in Laurel. A few hours later, the same motorcyclist allegedly pulled a handgun on a female driver and 2 children in Park City, threatening their lives.
Well, Good is also a possible suspect in a Billings chase earlier that day that started after he allegedly fired a shot into the air. On Monday, the motorcycle was located, seized, and towed as evidence. Later that day, Good went to the police department and asked why his motorcycle had been towed.
An officer identified Good as the same person in surveillance video, and he was arrested.
New information tonight as MTN confirms a second of 3 victims in a Missoula road rage incident has now died. 52-year-old Julie Blanchard died Monday while on the way to a Washington hospital suffering with respiratory complications. The Chelan County coroner tells Q2 Blanchard suffered cardiac arrest. There's no confirmation yet that her death is tied to the injury she sustained in that March 14th shooting in Missoula. That shooting also killed Shelley Hayes and left Casey Blanchard, Julie's son, a paraplegic. The shooter also critically wounded Trooper Wade Palmer, who was out looking for the gunman at the time.
Florida authorities have arrested and filed felony charges against the school resource officer who allegedly did nothing during last year's mass shooting at a Parkland school that left 17 people dead. Scott Peterson faces 11 charges, including child neglect, culpable negligence, and perjury. Peterson has collected a pension since retiring after that shooting, but the new Broward County Sheriff fired him today. Investigators say Peterson was armed and in uniform at the time of the attack, but he did not go into the building. He is held tonight in the Broward County Jail on $102,000 bond.
President Trump may be overseas this week, but back in Washington, Congress is challenging him on several fronts, from his proposed tariffs against Mexico to a growing drumbeat for impeachment proceedings. Nicole Killian has the latest from Capitol Hill.
I think it's more likely that the tariffs go on.
In the UK, President Trump doubled down on his threat to impose new tariffs against Mexico.
Mexico shouldn't allow millions of people to try and enter our country, and they could stop it very quickly.
On Capitol Hill, the White House dispatched aides to quell nervous Republicans concerned about the impact on U.S. consumers and trade.
We're not fans of tariffs. We're still hoping that this can be avoided.
Some GOP lawmakers have been discussing ways to block the tariffs from taking effect. The president called it foolish.
I want to be supportive of the president, but my honest opinion is that the short-term gain is not worth the long-term pain.
While Republicans battle the president over trade, Democrats are grappling with their own investigations of the administration and whether to move forward with impeachment.
I think that the tide is turning with the public.
As more Democrats call for an impeachment inquiry, the White House directed 2 former aides not to cooperate with a subpoena request from the House Judiciary Committee.
We need to serve as a check and balance on an out-of-control and increasingly lawless administration.
The House is moving forward with hearings on the Mueller report and contempt votes against the Attorney General and former White House counsel Don McGahn next week. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Well, Mexican officials have met with lawmakers, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, to discuss President Trump's proposed tariffs. On Wednesday, Vice President Mike Pence is expected to host the Mexican delegation for meetings at the White House on the tariffs.
Well, we reached out to both of our senators and asked if they support the proposed 5% tariff on all goods imported from Mexico.
Now, we did not receive a direct yes or no from Republican Steve Daines, but we got this answer from his press secretary. The senator believes Democrats need to stop playing political games and work with President Trump to continue trade talks and secure our borders.
Democratic Senator Jon Tester responded in a statement saying, quote, "I agree with my Republican colleagues who oppose President Trump's ill-conceived plan. These tariffs would be nothing more than a tax hike on Montana businesses and consumers and do nothing to resolve our crisis at the border."
Montana Governor Steve Bullock will make his 3rd trip to Iowa to campaign for president.
Well, his trip this weekend will take him to western Iowa on a 3-day swing with 8 scheduled stops. Now, Bullock's spending a lot of time with his campaign in Iowa as he tries to hit Democratic benchmarks to qualify for the upcoming Democratic debates. Bullock also made a pitch today to film production companies who are upset with the state of Georgia.
He said Montana has a great business climate and new film tax credits. Georgia recently passed a strict anti-abortion law, and it could cost them in film industry dollars. Companies including Netflix, Disney, and AMC are considering pulling out the industry. It accounted for some $2.7 billion in direct spending last year.
Well, on the weather state tonight, Bob, we've had a few pretty dry days, but it's also been warm. So that means the snow is melting and our rivers are rising.
Yeah, you know, the lower level snows have already melted. It's the high level snow that we're concerned about, and that's going to start swelling our rivers again. But so let me show you where our rivers are at right now. We got some of the major ones around south central Montana. And as you can see, here we go in the Yellowstone River in Billings. It's at 10.43 right now. Flood stage is 13.5. See how this works? Then in Livingston, that's at 7 feet. Flood stage is 10. Over by Shields River in Livingston, it's 3.8. Flood stage is 5.5. The Clarks Fork of the Yellowstone's at 6.29. Flood stage is 8.5. And as you'll see, the Stillwater at Absaroka, that's a 5.61. Flood stage is 7.5. So basically, most of the rivers here in south central Montana, they are basically about 3/4 of the way full. And we can't use too much more precipitation moving in there. It could start to cause them some more flooding in that area. Let's hope that we get these things kind of push out early and easily and not getting more flooding.
All right, thanks so much, Bob. Well, 3 people rafting on the Gallatin River last night near Bozeman quickly found themselves in a life or death situation. MTN's Cody Boyer has the latest on the rescue and how it nearly ended much worse.
Severe hypothermia. I don't know how much longer she'd have lasted on that.
On angry waters like the Gallatin River this time of year, everything can change in an instant. Search and Rescue Commander Jason Jarrett says that's exactly what happened Monday night.
This particular call was of a small person yelling for help that was trapped on a cut bank on the Gallatin.
It was a woman trapped and freezing.
She was stranded along the bank, in really cold weather, had been there for a while.
She was alone, but the commander says she wasn't when this all started.
She and 2 others, which we didn't find out till later, had dumped their 2 rafts in a kayak. Trying to get information from somebody that is hypothermic is problematic.
A search and rescue member found the 2 men upstream. They too were stranded. As for the woman,
she suffered an incredible bout of hypothermia. She'd been there for a long time, had been wet, was in a spot where she couldn't get off the bank. It was collapsing underneath her.
Commander Jarrett adds that this stretch of river, even on its good days, is not friendly.
It looks like the river, it looks like all the other rivers, but it's not. That's a really dangerous stretch.
Now take this creek just for an example. It's just a creek off of the Gallatin River, but if you look at the current, it's still just as strong. So while I am much safer where I'm standing here, take this current, put it there, much more dangerous.
Big cottonwood trees, big rocks, nasty strainers. It's a really hazardous place.
With waters like these, Jarrett says the 3 are extremely lucky.
Water deserves respect, regardless of where you are.
Importantly, Commander Jarrett says the trio is recovering. In Bozeman, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
Thanks, Cody. Now, the search and rescue commander says none of the 3 people were wearing life jackets.
And tonight, a reminder to always be prepared as conditions on the water can change rapidly. Experts caution the water is high, cold, and moving at dangerous speeds. Knowing where you're going and mapping out your course are important steps to staying ahead of the unknown, and having the proper equipment is also important.
The water and the wind together can make you colder than you think you're going to get, especially if the clouds take a turn and cover the sun. It can get chilly. So gear-wise, especially in early season, making sure that you do have insulating layers just in case.
And remember, a life jacket can make all the difference, as well as a helmet for the rapids.
Coming up on tonight's 10 o'clock news, Western Montana hotshot crews are heading north. We'll find out why and what it means to them.
Plus, we're going to dig up on the newest exhibit at the Smithsonian, find out how Montana is playing a huge role.
And tonight in sports, wait till you see how Montana and Wyoming sit in your latest PRCA standings, less than a month from Cowboy Christmas.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.